Talk about your night tonight. Outstanding performance. You came out quick, strong, you led the team, directed the team. Excellent, excellent play. Talk about what went into your preparation for the game tonight.
Definitely the chemistry this team had. You know, we faced a lot of adversity this whole week, and, you know, we never gave up on ourselves. We stayed together, we stayed composed, and, you know, we did what we had to do tonight.
Good job.
This was you already shot 50% tonight, but you've shot 50 overall in your last few games. Just talk about being able to find your shot out there, and again, just talk about how your team has assisted in that.
Definitely, this league is a fast-paced league, and, you know, one of my areas I need to work on is just being patient. I feel like I was being patient tonight, and just allowing my shots to come to me and, you know, taking the right shots.
Drake.
For Paige, felt like, you know, they were being really physical with you tonight on the ball, How do you feel like you managed that?
I mean, I wish I could have taken care of the ball a little bit better, but then that allows for my teammates to get open looks, for them to get offensive creation off of a double team, off an advantage, out of the trap, out of the physicality. So I'm human. Sometimes I let my emotions get the best of me just in terms of all the physicality that's let go, but I got to get used to it, got to embrace it. That's every night in this league. But again, just being able to weather the storm, stick together with our teammates, just rely on them as well, and them getting me open, and them creating out of the traps and the aggressiveness on the other team. But yeah, just a learning process every single night.
Yeah.
Paige, who is that team, and what have y'all done with the Dallas Wings that started 1-7?
I feel like we've always had it in us. If you look at our games, they're never out of hand. We always have a fight, and our record could be flipped if we just closed out some games better. So we just always have this belief in us, regardless of what our record says on any given night. We feel like we can compete with the rest of this league, and we're learning, we're growing a whole new team. So it takes time to establish what we want here. And so we're just sticking with it, sticking with our process, sticking with what we want to look like as a team, and staying together through it all, which makes it easier. Melissa?
Aziaha, early in the season, as you were kind of figuring out your role, Coach talked about your confidence needing to grow. How have you gotten to this point where it looked like you didn't struggle with that whatsoever tonight?
Yeah, just playing with my girls more, and, you know, just them having confidence in me, and also the coaching staff as well. Just, you know, boost my momentum up, and, you know, I just keep going every day and just keep pushing myself.
Bye.
It was just a big night for the rookies overall. What's it been like for y'all just to develop together in your first year in the league? And this is for both players.
Yeah, you know, the rookies, we always compete in practice against the vets, and, you know, and when it's game time, you know, we're ready whenever our number's called. So tonight was definitely the rooks night.
Yeah, it's just so much fun playing with these guys. We just have like a competitive nature about us that we all want to win, and we all work extremely hard. We're constantly in the weight room, constantly getting up extra work, and we're all doing it together. So to be able to have a night like this where it all comes into fruition, it's really rewarding, and we just want to keep building on it because we really enjoy being around each other and playing with each other. Mari?
So, Aziaha, I noticed you got to the paint really well. What were you reading in the help side to get like a lot of those weak side threes that we saw, making them sink in and kicking the ball out?
Yeah, just keep attacking. You know, they were fouling when we was going up, but, you know, if they come in, our post can shoot the midi or can shoot the three. So, you know, just kicking it out for them, and yeah, it was good for us today.
Rob on the Zoom, go ahead.
Thank you. Rob Youngster from the podium finish. Paige, congrats on the win and being named Rookie of the Month for June. You finished with 23 points, 5 assists, and 4 boards while working through double teams in the physical Mercury defense. So how meaningful is it to have a night like this, both with the award and win? And how much does it speak to the growth and chemistry that you're building with your teammates across all 40 minutes?
It's really fun to play team basketball like this, where on any given night it can be anybody's night, and for us to have multiple people contributing to the win, all 8 who played made an impact. And obviously it was the Aziaha James game, so that was extremely fun to watch and to be a part of. And it's not just offensively too, like she's guarding one of the best perimeter players in the league on the other end in Ka. So to take that on and to be fearless and to just be confident, like, I'm so happy for her because she has it in her. She's always had it in her. So to be able to grow off this as a team, obviously JJ having a great night as the backcourt rooks as well. But then just Li, Lou, Mai, T just holding it down in the paint. I feel like just 1 through 8, it was really fun to play like that and really rewarding.
Oh, This is for both of you. Can you talk about what you guys saw in the game defensively from Phoenix versus what film study might have shown prior?
Just their aggressiveness. You know, they're gonna fight over screens. You know, they're gonna get to the next pass, into the next action. So, just their compete.
Anything else for the Athletes?
Paige, yesterday you talked about how it could be fun to kind of be the underdog. Is this the way that you guys can play the rest of the year, just with that chip on your shoulder and kind of letting it fly like you did tonight?
Yeah, I think that's the attitude that we want to carry throughout the rest of the season. Just kind of the underdog and we want to play like we're hunting teams and being hunted at the same time. So it's just a competitive league that you have to bring that every single night. And we want to play like that for 40 minutes. We've shown stretches where we've had slow starts. And we always fight and claw our way back in the game. So to be able to carry that for an entire 40 minutes is what we need to move forward with.
Ladies, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Great job.
It's fun.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Questions for Coach?
Coach, I noticed that the spacing tonight was very well. There didn't seem to be a lot of penetrating through the lane too far and then trying to make a decision. It seems like smart moves made from the point guard position. Is that something that you guys truly worked on as we're spacing on the offensive end?
Always, right? We're always talking about how we want the floor to look. It was good that we had 2 days to prep for this game, and while not having a ton of bodies healthy, we did have a couple of practices. So getting Lou and T back allowed us to kind of get back to fundamentals and talking about the little things, little shapes, the spacing. Those little things make a big difference. So was excited that you observed that, and that just in general our rookies were fearless and were able to do a lot of really positive things.
And then your defense, I noticed they were communicating a lot. Just telling, the point guard was just telling different players about their player that was coming up.
Yeah.
Also paying attention to her players, so that communication was very, very visible to me.
Yep. Proud of our team for sticking to a game plan and executing. It wasn't perfect, right? We're still fouling too much. We're putting teams to the free throw line, but I thought we did a lot of really positive things, and it starts with communication. If you can communicate and give great effort on that side of the floor and have discipline, you can give yourself a chance.
How significant is this win just after the week that this team has had with the injuries and all the roster shifts?
Yeah, just really proud and excited for this group. You know, they're just fearless, and they have tremendous belief in who's in that locker room, regardless of who is suiting up that night. So it's only going to help us, right? Just more and more confident. You win a game without Paige, you win a game without Enrique. Everyone can contribute. We know this, right? It's our competitive depth, and everyone's going to continue to buy into that. Yeah, we're just going to keep growing one day at a time, one game at a time, and building on this momentum, making CPC a tough place to play, right? That's 4 in a row here at home in front of this crowd. So really wanting them to buy into that and making this a fun place to play.
You guys have been kind of waiting to see a game like this where you get two of the players in the backcourt going at the same time. So Zaya starts off hot, opens up things for Paige. It's hard for them to double team when she's playing like that. How much did that open up the offense along with just the incredible size that you guys had to run in with the pick and roll?
Yeah, totally, right? When you've got it, I thought we had good intention early too, especially, right? We talked about wanting to play inside out, knowing we're going to have a size advantage. So while Lee didn't make very many field goals, she just accumulated fouls on Westfeld, their starter. She had to go to the bench. She got to the free throw line a ton. So it started with an intention to play inside. That opens up the outside. Then you get Aziaha going. A lot of times she gets probably the weaker perimeter defender. And then you saw Phoenix switching up matchups as well. But yeah, inside out when everyone's being aggressive and attacking, and then making the right play. So again, all starting guards had more than 5 assists and played really unselfishly. So while being aggressive, still being able to make simple plays.
Sure.
Just talk about what you saw out of Kai and AT while they were out there, and what you were able to do to make it difficult for them to have like the games that they normally have.
Yeah, I mean they're incredible players, right? They're big three, Satu as well. You know, it's tough to contain them, and Kai goes for 33, and I thought we did some decent things, but in stretches, you know, she still is really hard to guard. She gets downhill. Again, we put her to the free throw line. That's our growth opportunity, still continues to be finding a physicality and a discipline without fouling, but just quick first step, playing downhill. And then I think some of the threes we could have taken away. Just we got a little lazy and went under and gave them some threes behind, where I'd rather us to be more aggressive and go over top and force them to keep getting into the paint and getting to the rim and settling for the mid-range. And then AT is, I thought we did some good things in times and stretches with her. You got to mix it up, right? Do you guard her hard? Do you back off her, not guard her? You just got to keep mixing it up. And I thought we did a good job and got her to miss a couple shots. But you still look at it at the end of the day, still had 10 assists and an impact on the game. But overall, I like our commitment to the game plan and what we were able to do.
Zaya took 9 threes tonight. Just is that something that you're challenging her to get more up, or is that more so her just reading the game and making plays?
Her reading. A little bit of us talking about it, but that's Aziaha just playing basketball and feeling it. Once she got going there, we can get her on the move and get her into space. And sometimes the best thing is just leave her without a ball screen, right? It's when you bring more people to her, sometimes that's more trouble, and just let her go one-on-one. So happy for her. We're seeing what she can really be and what she's capable of.
Couple questions. The jump ball that happened with less than 2 minutes left in the fourth quarter, what were y'all trying to communicate from the sideline?
Yeah. Well, I'm glad it worked out the way it did, because we've been on the other end of that way too many times this year. So for us to get a leak out layup off a jump ball, thank you. But we were trying to get JJ on the other side to be able to have two people together to Paige's strong hand. But in not doing that, what happened was nobody was between JJ and the hoop. So Paige smartly tapped it forward and we got a leak out.
Wonderful.
So it worked out in our favor.
And then on defense, it kind of felt like y'all were focusing a lot on rebounds, and y'all did out-rebound them by a lot. Was that intentional to avoid foul trouble with the short roster?
Yeah, rebounding, it's been a big piece of why we've had success here, right? We're the number 1 rebounding team in the league in June. And so with some roster changes, people out, people down, it's just a group effort. It's got to be a gang rebounding effort. So absolutely, we continue to talk about it on both sides of the ball, offensively having consistent crash present, and then defensively being able to gang rebound, and especially with a team that wants to take lots of threes. Our guards just hanging around the nail, pursuing long rebounds.
Isaac?
Coach, I have 2 quick ones. With Louisa and T back in the country from their national team obligations, we saw almost the entire game. There were 2 centers on the court. It was either T and Lee, Louisa and Lee, so on and so forth. You talked about the rebounding a little bit, but what did you see in all facets of the game, having more size on the court?
Yeah, just a presence on the inside. On both sides of the ball, right? Again, I thought we were way more intentional about making sure we get touches inside. And again, I think the more you do that, you get to the free throw line. T's going to be really efficient around the rim. Lee didn't have a great net around the rim, but she got to the free throw line a ton. But again, it opens it up when you can play inside out. And then defensive rebounding, right? We've got big bodies in there. And then on the offensive glass as well. Lee with 4 offensive rebounds. So it's just that size is really great. And then again, we put our 5s on AT a lot tonight, and I thought they did a great job just staying between her and the hoop and using their size and length to try to make her shoot over top of them.
Perfect. And then this has kind of been a theme in your press conferences, wins and losses. You've said that we haven't seen this team play together for 40 consecutive minutes. Do you feel like tonight was an example of the team playing together for all 40, putting together a good 4 quarters?
Yeah, I thought that was a really good 40 minutes tonight. And again, not perfect, but loved our start, right? We've been talking about our starts, and we came out and we established right from the tip how physical we were going to play and that we were going to set the tempo, right? Phoenix had been coming in with the second fastest. Our tempo has dropped a little bit here over the month of June, but we talked about wanting to get our pace, and it naturally helps with JJ in there, right? She's going to get the ball up the floor. But you saw off that first free throw line when JJ goes coast to coast, I think that kind of set the tone that we were just going to fly up the floor and play.
Can you talk a little bit about how you guys plan to build on this momentum as May and Enrique come back?
Yeah, excited to be able to get people back and get more healthy bodies. But again, we're building confidence, right? Everyone is just seeing that our competitive depth is our advantage. Everybody can contribute on any given night. And so I'm excited for our team.
On that note, I think we saw Maisha and Louisa both have to play the 3 tonight when you went with that jumbo lineup. How do you think that both of them handled that position? And does that maybe give you an idea of something you can do when you do have a healthy roster?
Yeah, totally. Just being creative, out of necessity a little bit tonight, but in the future, those 2 are just really high IQ. So you can throw them into situations that maybe they haven't been in a ton. I mean, Maisha's played a little bit of that in her time throughout the league in Washington with some big lineup 3-ball, but it just gives you a different look, and lots of size on there, so hopefully that can help with some rebounding. And then again, Lou and Mai can both stretch it and knock down an open 3 too. So
Last question to Rob on the Zoom.
Thank you. Rob Youngson from the Podium Finish. Coach, another solid victory tonight. One where your team exemplified great focus, communication, and selflessness. What does it mean to see that level of trust and progress paying off on both ends of the floor? And how much do you personally feed off the energy that we saw tonight with the fast energy, the hustle, and the positive vibes?
Yeah, I just, again, proud of our team, proud for their fight and fearlessness, and just love it for them that they're experiencing success. And when they're out there hooping like that, for me, I just try to stay level and not either way, right? When it's going great, like I want them to feel that, and I'm going to give it to them. And then when it's not going great, I'm going to be the same. But for them to be out there competing the way they were competing and just feeding off of each other, we're going to capture that, we're going to build on it, and we're going to keep moving forward. And as P said, right, like just sticking to this process. Tonight was a great night. Now, again, we turn around and go to Phoenix, and you can just guess what kind of effort you're going to get from them, right? They're licking their lips right now that they get us again right away. So that'll be a great test for a young group now, right? How do you respond on the road to a team that you just took care of at home? So looking forward to that.
Coach, thank you.
Thank you, guys.